ICAST presents the Wingman Award to recognize an individual or an entity from inside or outside of our industry for their support of the airshow business. We're doing things a little bit different this year in that we're going to bring people on stage to help us present. So to help us present this award, I would now like to invite to the stage Thunderbird 1, Lieutenant Colonel John Caldwell, as well as Kevin Elliott from the Great Pacific Air Show at Huntington Beach. Come on up.
And folks, let's watch the screens to see who's going to receive the Wingman Award this year.
You can tell the difference between the American and then, the British. There is such class and elegance that they display up in the sky. It's wonderful.
The tour itself, 2.5 months long, and we've been to places that we couldn't even imagine, doing things with teams and professionals that we never thought we'd ever get to meet. And it's been such an honour and such a privilege to take this amazing set of individuals, the whole 106 that made up the Red Arrows team over in the United States and Canada, and show off the real best of Britain.
Was it not great to have them here in North America? We'll ask the Red Arrow members here to come on up, please.
It's an absolute honor to be able to present this award to the Red Arrows. When John asked me if I would mind coming up here saying a few words about their experience in the U.S. and our interaction with them, I thought I'm in a perfect position to do that because you see, we shared a couple of air show stages out there and a couple of events, and so I got a chance to work with them very intimately. And I can tell you that their professionalism, their dedication to this profession, their precision is absolutely amazing. It was an absolute honor to be able to fly with them, to work with them on the ground in the air, and they're absolutely deserving of this award. The concept of a wingman is an important one in aviation, it's important in the military, and it's important across the board. But I literally got the chance to let them fly as my wingman, so I'm in a unique position to critique them, to compliment them, and to highlight some of the events that we had this past year. It started off with Atlantic City, where we had a joint show, and then that was followed by a flight down the Hudson, in which we were able to fly all the way down to the Statue of Liberty, turn around and fly back to West Point, which was executed flawlessly. Wonderful planning, wonderful execution. And let me back up and say, the fact that they even made it here in such short notice is a testament to the team and their ability to plan rapidly. It was short notice, notification for them, short in the planning stage and short in the execution, and they leaned on this industry, and we helped them as much as we could. It was a team effort to get them on board, to learn our regulations, to modify their show so that they could be prepared for the 2019 season. And it was a group effort, and they performed well, and we were very honored to see them have such an incredible impact, not just on the aviation industry, but in strengthening the relationship between our two countries. In that respect, it was a job well done, and absolutely one of the highlights of the 2019 seasons, watching them perform this year. We had the opportunity to go to Huntington Beach, and as a matter of formality and etiquette, it's always appropriate whenever you're added late to the schedule to call or text, notify other commander leaders of jet teams who are in the air shows to make sure they don't mind sharing the stage with you. And in this case, we called and texted Purdy, the flight lead, and he was more than welcoming and sharing the stage with us. In fact, it ended with one of the most spectacular flybys, I think, that we had of the 2019 season that ended up going a little bit different than what we had planned in execution. The formation was intended to be a mile in trail, and I assure everybody who sees the videos or sees a picture that it's really just sun angle and parallax that you're looking at there. But I have to admit, I have to thank the Red Arrows personally as a flight lead, in that case on that day, for them being my wingman, because I always wondered how long it would take a social media hit or event before I could get every general in my chain of command to contact me. What would that time be? I can confidently tell you that it is faster than it takes for an F-16 to fly from Huntington Beach to Los Alamitos and land on the ground. But don't worry, like any good flight lead, I blamed it on my wingman, so I got out of that one okay. But overall, it was a truly epic show site at Huntington Beach. We thoroughly enjoyed being able to close the season with the Red Arrows there, to include the Canadian Snowbirds. Having all of those jet teams together was a fantastic event, and the camaraderie was like none other from the show sites that we had in the previous year. But there was one sentiment that was definitely pervasive when we were together, and that is we were impressed with their flying ability, with their ability to adapt their show so that it could be something that they could fly in accordance with American rules. And one sentiment that we definitely left is, please don't wait another 15 years before you guys come back. But on that note, we owe a special thanks to Kevin Elliott, who organized that show. He's the one who made the provisions for us to end the season with the Red Arrows, and a remarkable display of airmanship across the board for the three jet teams. And I know Kevin has a few words that he would like to pile on about the Red Arrows and his experience working with them. Kevin, please.
Thank you, boss. It was a true honor to host the finale performance for the Red Arrows of the Great Pacific Air Show in 2019, and what a finale it was. On Sunday, our show concluded with a historic fly pass, and let's take a look at that right here on the screens. So not quite a mile, but in the words of the famous Wayne Boggs, when you're converting millipedes to centipedes, something's bound to go wrong. A couple of quick facts about the show. In 11 weeks, the Red Arrows flew 105 personnel, 12 jets, and one A400M safely to and from North America. They flew over 815 hours across 21 displays and 30 flypasts. When they weren't flying, they held over 120 ground engagements, inspiring tens of thousands of youth and generating tremendous commerce for our North American air show industry. To date, the 2019 Red Arrows North American Tour has reached over 2 billion people from across the globe. and its effects will be felt for a long time to come. On behalf of ICAS, the North American Airshow industry, Canada, the United States, it's our distinct honor to present the Royal Air Force Red Arrows with the 2019 Bob Hoover Wingman Award.
Wow, thank you very much. Such an honor to be up here. 12 months ago, a small group of us were here at the convention with a very basic plan in place and a great number of questions that were unanswered. We knew the aims of the tour. That was to support UK interests across trade, across education and defense, to deepen partnerships with long-standing allies, and to build new audiences across North America. But the real work started in the Circle Bar of the Paris Hotel. What followed was several months of planning, recce visits, and coordination with everyone from ICAS, the FAA, Transport Canada, the national display teams, event organizers, and air traffic control. The final plan only reaching completion a few days before we left the UK. The adventure began taking 12 40-year-old single-engined aircraft across the pond, stopping in Iceland and Greenland on what was to become the Red Arrow's most ambitious tour in history. Now, Kevin's already been through the stats, so I won't repeat those to you. But of course, this was a real team effort. Along with the 12 pilots, we had a support team of almost 100 personnel, really the unsung heroes of the tour. Special mention tonight must go to Sue Gardner and Kevin Raymond, to Daryl Shayak, to John Cudahy, to Jim DiMatteo, and of course the Blue Angels, the Thunderbirds, and the Snowbirds, and all the wonderful event organizers that we work with throughout the tour. Now, success is always difficult to measure, but what has struck us returning to ICAS is just how many people have asked when the Red Arrows will return. So hopefully it will be very, very soon. All that remains for me to do is to thank all of you for letting us invade North America and for giving us such a warm reception wherever we went. You allowed us to represent our country amongst our closest allies, and we had a great deal of fun along the way. Thank you for this amazing award. Or as we say in the UK, cheers.